Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm putting another spin on the classic Guyanese Mithai. I'm going to be making a double chocolate Mithai today. Chocolate in any dessert is my favorite, so I wanted to share this one with you all because it is super delicious and very rich. I hope you all enjoy. In a bowl, I have some all-purpose flour and I'm going to be going in with some baking powder. And at this point, we're going to be adding in our butter. I do not like to use cold butter when making Mithai. I like to use room temperature or softened butter. And we're going to go ahead and rub the butter in very well into the flour and the baking powder mixture. Now, I do not add any spices when I'm making this chocolate Mithai because I don't want it to interfere with the taste of the chocolate. Once you get that butter all mixed in, it's going to be nice and crumbly. At this point, we're going to add in some chocolate pudding mix. Now, this is just the regular Jello brand. You can buy any store brand of the chocolate pudding mix. That gets added in, and then I'm also adding in some unsweetened cocoa powder. You need that cocoa powder to give it that really rich taste, and the chocolate pudding mix or the custard powder is going to give it that really nice soft texture as well. So just mix all of these dried ingredients in together, and at this point we're going to stream in some evaporated milk a little bit at a time just to bring this together. Now, you don't want to make it too soft and sticky, but you also don't want to make it too stiff or else the Mithai is going to end up being very hard and it won't stay soft. Like I mentioned before, don't mix this dough too soft or too hard, and when it comes together like this, you don't want to knead it for too long. Just bring it together and you're going to let it rest for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then we can begin the frying process. So my Mithai's been resting for about 45 minutes. Again, I let it rest sometimes because it allows the Mithai dough to rest and relax. All of those glutens that we were mixing together have been activated. So if you let it go ahead and relax, it'll be nice and soft and fluffy with the end product. So I'm going to roll this out to about 1/2 inch thickness. And this is a very small batch of Mithai that I'm making today, so I'm rolling it all out in one shot. If you are making a bigger batch or you double this recipe, divide the dough balls into a couple of different balls so this way you can have different batches. And then you're going to cut up the Mithai into your desired shapes. What I like to do is cut them into long, fat strips as you're seeing here. And from there, I'll cut out my triangles or my diamond shapes. You can even make squares, rectangles. You can cut them as big or as small as you'd like. I would like to mention that the smaller you make the Mithai, the less time it takes to fry, and they overcook very easy. If you make them on the bigger side, you have to make sure that you fry them for a good amount of time just to cook them on the inside as well. So I have my oil heating up on a medium-high heat at this point, and this is the type of pot that I like to use. A nice heavy bottom pot is going to make for the best product and the best frying process. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding in a batch of my Mithai. With this kind of Mithai, being that the dough is so brown already, you're not going to know if it's golden brown on the outside. So you have to make sure you fry it for a good amount of time so it cooks on the inside. These are going to fry for about 3 to 4 minutes because they're on the smaller side. And that's also why you want to keep the heat very regulated, because if it's too hot, they're still going to be very raw on the inside and you're not going to be able to tell. Make sure you keep on turning the Mithai, moving it around, and make sure that all the sides are cooked evenly. You can see that as they're done frying, they do get slightly darker in color, so that is a good indication that they're done, but these fried for about 4 minutes at this point, so I'm taking them out and I'm going to drain them on some paper towels so this way any of that excess oil can drain out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue frying the rest of my Mithai pieces until I finish all of my dough. So I finished frying all of my Mithai. At this point, it is time to make that pog or the sugar mixture to go on the outside. And of course, being that this is a double chocolate Mithai, I'm going to make a chocolate flavored pog. So in my heavy bottom skillet here, I'm adding in some water, and I'm also going to be adding in some granulated sugar. And we're going to leave this on a medium to medium-high heat and allow it to come up to a rolling boil and start to get thick. Now, while I'm waiting for the sugar syrup to come up to a rolling boil, I want to go ahead and add in a little bit of cocoa powder on top of the Mithai. What this is going to do is when we throw the sugar syrup on, it's going to mix together and make the chocolate glaze. It's been about 10 minutes since my sugar syrup came up to a rolling boil. Once it came up to a boil, I lowered the heat slightly so this way it doesn't overcook too quick. What I like to do once I see it's thick and lots of bubbles start to form around the edges, I like to take a couple of drops, put it at the bottom of a bowl, and I like to keep on stirring it up with a spoon. Once you see that it's nice and cloudy and it starts to get that icy color on it, that's how you know it's done. So that Mithai that we added in the cocoa powder on top of, we're going to go ahead and add in all of that sugar syrup that we made. Like I said before, when the sugar syrup mixes up with that cocoa powder and the mithai on the outside, it's going to make a rich and dense chocolate glaze on the outside. And being that we added in the cocoa powder on top of the mithai, it's going to dry up even quicker, so you do have to work fast. But look how beautiful these mithais look. A rich chocolatey glaze all over the top, and it's already nice and dry. That's how you know the sugar syrup was at the perfect texture. So as you all can see, making any kind of mithai is super easy. This one right here is my double chocolate mithai, and I hope you all enjoyed. These were so soft and cakey in the middle, very flaky as well, and the outside had that rich, dense, thick chocolate coating, and it was super delicious. I hope for this Navratri season coming at the end of the week, you give it a try, because this is a time of fasting. I know a lot of us will be hosting our own events at home, and we might need some sweet treats to share with family and friends. And for anyone celebrating Eid, this is a great dessert to put on your dessert table as well. I hope you all like, share, subscribe, drop your comments down below, and I'll be seeing you all again in my next recipe. Bye everyone!